we must be really dedicated to this podcast because we watched Magic Mike XXL. This is In Defense of Bad Movies. Hey guys, Sam here, and we've got another episode of In Defense of Bad Movies for you. Hey Bobby.
Hello.
You like this movie.
That's it.
We'll get to that.
Jumping right into it, goodness.
Yeah. We'll get to that later. Laura.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. We're doing a special podcast this time because this movie is actually out in theaters right now.
A special In Defense of Bad Movies in Theaters edition.
Yay.
How's it going,
Go
Lauren?
see this movie, guys.
Do not go see this movie.
But if you are going to go see this movie, it's really difficult to take notes during a movie, it turns out.
Don't take notes while you watch it because you don't need to take notes. It's just a fun movie.
Because you don't want to remember. Like,
you
don't
want to remember
anything
everything.
That will
you might want to sneak up your
preserve
pictures
this
on
in
it, you
your
know what I mean?
Our theater actually tried to help us by showing no fewer than 7 previews before. It was like a really like, are you guys sure you want to sit through this movie?
I was
like a real
appreciating
eclectic
it.
mix too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I was
really
surprised.
good stuff looking.
They did not know what to put before this movie.
I saw like an Ant-Man preview and like a Ricky and the Flash preview.
Yep,
like it
same
was,
here.
Yeah.
Where did you see it?
Huh?
Where did you see it?
It was a Regal.
Same here.
Yeah. Oh.
You don't want to get into the details because people might get an idea of where you live. So yeah,
Let's calm down, everyone. Let's calm down.
yeah. And what was the other? A vacation one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Vacation.
Yeah. So how's everyone doing?
Really good after this movie.
We're in the dog days of summer. It's hot.
It is hot.
And what's more hot than men stripping?
Nothing.
I can think of a few things, but
Men in Thongs is really
crazy.
nice.
Men in Thongs, the new Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones vehicle. That should be fun. It's like Men in Black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah. Wait, could you explain it more, please?
Yeah, let's just spoil the joke a little bit more. Let's just drive it down to the ground.
Speaking of driving things into the ground, it's time for Laura's 15-second movie wrap-up. What do we call it? Movie synopsis?
Wrap up. All right. Are you going to set the
hold
timer?
on. Yeah, let's set the timer. Are you guys ready? Mm-hmm. Because, Laura, you have 15 seconds starting now.
You know what? It really doesn't need... I don't need that long because it's just guys stripping. Channing Tatum, Matt Balmer, or Boner, whatever you want to call him, and Joe Manganiello, or... I'm not sure how to say his last name, but he's sexy as all get out. So, just go see it.
Wow, it's like you're making our point for us.
Yeah, essentially.
This movie has no plot.
No, I completely disagree, but we'll get into that.
So it does seem as if this time we are decidedly split cast. We don't have one defender, but 2 with Bobby and Laura on the movie side, and Sam and I fairly squarely against. We just saw it today, so it's very fresh for us.
Yes.
It's a fresh pain.
It's an open wound, perhaps.
Let's pour some salt on it.
I thought it was so bold to just start on a blank screen. I mean, there was background and stuff, but no people involved. And then they went to some, like, an inside scene where there was still no people. And it was like it was several minutes before, the guy who, it seemed like the guy who had this, oh God, what was it? He built furniture?
Channing Tatum?
Who's that? I don't know who
Mike.
that is. No, the other guy. Because
His
this is a movie about an imaginary person named Mike, right? Because I didn't see anyone on the screen at first. And that was a long way to go.
Yeah, that was a really bad joke,
But
guys,
Sam is making a point that I thoroughly agree with, that Channing is a marshmallow face.
I don't know where to go
He
from
is
that.
so
'cause
charming.
he's full-
If by marshmallow face you mean delicious candy to look at, yes, he is.
I think you're
for a
objectively
face.
wrong. I don't even know how to counter that because it's so obviously untrue.
He looks like a thumb.
Well, I mean, they made another movie, so clearly there's people who
But I mean,
like
like,
him,
I think he's done
has
plenty
a
to prove
very
his screenplays in the past year. Like,
and he
he's
has
great.
a very strong
He
appeal.
keeps getting lots and lots of work.
Yeah, because he's great. Like, he was great in the 21 Jump Street movies. He was great in the first Magic Mike. And again, I think he's a ball of charm. I don't get it.
He's a great dancer.
Yes,
He is.
a very good
He
dancer.
is.
I will
We
totally
will
give him
absolutely
credit for that.
contend that he was an excellent dancer. I will, in all full disclosure, neither Sam nor I have seen the first one, so we are coming a bit blind on that.
But I think with this one alone, I think you're factually incorrect.
No,
Like, there's literally nothing I could say to like.
I know, and it's purely
We
subjective.
are not the only two people who feel that way
there's
either.
But there's some people who disagree. But
My mom feels the way we do, and she did see the first Magic Mike. I think she saw the 21 Jump Street too.
And we should get out now because it'll be a hurdle if we keep fighting. But just that, my opinion of him is he's a great dancer and seems, based on stories, like he's a really great guy. I bet he's a lot of fun and he's really nice, so he's probably a joy to work with. But what I've not seen so far, and definitely in this movie, he is not an actor. And anything that was more than the dancing or just like the cute little flirtation was really hard for him. And it was difficult to watch.
The flirtation was really hard too. That scene
yes,
with
I can't let that be the last word on Channing Tatum's acting, so I'm going to say exactly the opposite of whatever Lauren just said.
We can keep coming back to that, I'm sorry. Though I'm sure it will just be a no-yes fight.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that obviously for some people find him a draw because he does keep getting roles and people do keep so. But we're saying we don't see it.
And I
don't see it at all.
Like in the Jump Street as a like nice, handsome supporting character who's like most of the movie is carried by a Jonah Hill or someone stronger. So in this, where he's the
most of the movie is pulled by him.
Yeah, where he has to do all of the heavy
in 21
lifting.
Jump Street too.
I will have to watch this.
I feel like Jonah is
Jonah's really bad.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
Yeah, he's really bad.
He's like
Channing Tatum is much better than Jonah.
Oh, that's a strange statement to hear.
No,
With his big thumb face saying, "Why do people think I'm cool?"
His lips look chapped.
I don't think he's conceited. I don't think you go in like I don't really care about like I'm not one of those girls who's like, oh my gosh, he's like one of my top 10 of like hot celebrities list, but
I think he oozes like old school movie charm.
Yeah,
like I really do. I see him and I think like that is like
movie.
a classic movie star.
I did not see it.
Wow.
I honestly cannot relate on any level to you not seeing it. I don't get it.
Wow, this is.
I mean, like even in like crappy roles in crappy movies, like I thought he was
Magic Mike.
Like I thought he was a little charming in the what was it the
She's the Man.
Yeah, She's the Man. Like that's a stupid movie, but I thought he was charming in that.
I don't know.
I don't want to take too much time away. Which one was She the Man?
That's the 12th Night one with Amanda Bynes.
Oh, the one I tried to watch but couldn't because it was awful.
Really bad. Yeah, it's really bad.
I don't think I even made it to Channing in that.
He plays Duke Orsino.
Dick Horsley?
Wait, so he's supposed to be a handsome character. Is
Yeah.
also what I'm hearing again.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, and he does have a nice body. I will grant that as well.
Very nice body.
Great body. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would kill for a body like that. To have, for myself to have it, not in any other.
To keep it in your collection.
Yes.
Your creepy basement collection of.
But
nice
You
body.
guys, it's extensive, his collection.
Okay, so moving right along.
Oh, I know. So Channing has been off. From understanding, if you guys catch me up from the last movie, he's quit the stripping life because his ambition was always to open up this business of his own.
Well, after the first one, there's a big fallout between Matthew McConaughey's character Dallas and Mike and the five of them, the 5 strippers who are in this movie as well.
Like, pretty much took a backseat in the first movie.
Tito,
Big Dick Ritchie.
Tarzan, and who's the other one? Who
Palmer's
was the
character.
Oh, Ken,
because he's like a Ken
He's like a Ken doll.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so they all go their separate ways, and Mike gets out of the stripping world, and he opens up his own furniture business,
which was the thing he was like really struggling toward in the first movie.
Yeah.
Right. So in the first movie, there was like a struggle. Like something that people were trying to build toward and achieve, and there was like this journey that they had to take to like get to something, right? In the first movie.
But not a physical journey.
Like not a physical journey, but something something that they had to achieve and they were fighting for, and there were stakes to achieve this. So what happened in this movie?
There are no stakes.
Where did
in
the
this
stakes
movie.
go?
I think all the stakes are emotional in this one. Like I do. They set up at the very beginning that after the convention, they don't know what they're doing, and each different character has a moment where they deal with what they're,
Also, there's emotional stakes with his job because he's working really hard to pay for his one worker's insurance out of his own pocket and trying to struggle to keep his business afloat.
And so when they presented that, I thought they're talking about this convention, like the guys all get the band back together because they're going to go up to Georgia, to Myrtle Beach, to this stripper convention, which is a thing. So they're going to stripper regionals, and So,
you guys, what are regionals?
So when they presented that he's having business troubles and it's really hard to stay afloat, I assumed, like, all right, his reason to go with these guys to the convention is going to be to make money for his business. That's going to be his compelling drive. But it's not that at all.
Because his business is gone, Lauren. It's all but gone. We see it at the beginning. He's struggling. He can't afford his one employee.
But he doesn't even say that.
He says it pretty explicitly.
I mean, he says he's struggling to keep afloat, but he doesn't say, I'm going to throw in the towel in the business.
So if they had explicitly spelled it out, like, yeah, my business is going to be gone in a month, it wasn't
I wish they hadn't. I wish they would have changed it to the fact that this convention is going to bring in some money and you're going to keep fighting for what you love.
So if it wasn't to bring in enough money to support his business, his emotional journey is basically...
Can we get out of the way? They did make money at the convention.
No, they made it... Okay.
Apparently.
But I mean,
that was never the plan.
But it still... Yeah, it was never like, I need to make money, do this. It was like, his emotional journey was like, oh yeah, stripping is the only thing I'm really good at. That is like the saddest thing. I guess
I don't think that's the stakes at all. I think that's really reductive. Like, I don't think the only thing he's good at is stripping. I think that's where they're happy.
The only thing he's successful at, it seems to be implied.
Yeah, well, but I mean, like, I don't think that's the only thing that he has going for him. Like, that's the focus of the movie is that they're doing this one last time. Like, I don't...
But it's so...
I felt it was really pathetic, like they're convincing themselves it's their last time. They're not going to go anywhere with their careers, and they're going to be back in, it may be small, pathetic little podunk towns where they're doing it, like especially Frankenstein's monster guy, Tarzan.
He's going to be a painter.
Oh, God.
But then if that was it, if like we're going to do this one last tour, it's going to be a great goodbye for us, and we're going to get some money that will help us. Tito wants to open his frozen yogurt van. Ricky's going to invent something. We don't know what yet, because the drag queen busted his idea for condiments. But like, if this was we're getting together one last time, and then we're going to continue to pursue our dreams, like, that would be nice. And so this is our chance to say goodbye to each other, but like, we're still driving for this. But it feels like it's just it's spring break, y'all. Like, we're going to go up there, we're going to have some fun, and then we'll go and say goodbye to each other.
Spring break.
But I don't, like, the fact that they're all going to be jobless at the end, that looms over the entire movie.
But they're not, because Ricky's a gardener, and Tito's working on his business. Like, they all seem to have jobs elsewhere. And also,
But none of them have sustainable jobs. I mean, they all can have no jobs after this movie.
There aren't any other strip clubs in Florida? I don't think that's true.
But that's not what they want.
Like it's all strip clubs. So they do want to grow beyond this.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear, especially with Matt Balmer's character Ken. He wants to be a singer and wants to be famous. I mean, he is definitely the most removed from the group out of the stripping world.
Okay, so then it feels like there should be more excitement, like the last hurrah, but we are moving on to bigger and better things. Like, they all feel like they're still stuck in this, like we're still the group. Like, Matt is
So all of this made more explicit. All of this made less
wait. Can we agree that Ken's never going to be a singer?
Ken's never going to be
a singer. Yeah, of course.
What's his name is never... But it ends on this super hot, happy note. There's fireworks. There's the Froyo truck is back in the picture. Nothing's going to happen with these. These guys are strippers.
Okay.
Because if it's...
Why is the movie such a big happy ending when it's really tinged with...
I don't really think it's a big happy ending. I think it's a very ambiguous ending.
I think so much money thrown at them.
I think
it ends them on a happy note, but I don't think that implies like, and then they lived happily ever after in their stripper.
But it didn't feel like also that it was this road to finding... It was a road comedy, and I put comedy in parentheses.
The movie's hysterical. It's really funny.
It's so...
Oh my God.
It's the funniest fucking movie I've seen this summer.
Did you see
Spy? It wants to be funny.
Yeah, I saw Spy. I loved Spy.
Is this funnier?
I loved this movie.
Oh my god.
I've never laughed
funny?
harder.
But you think funny?
I've never laughed harder
Just
than
out of discomfort?
which part?
Joe Manganiello's dance in the convenience
So
store was
uncomfortable.
incredible.
Oh my god,
No.
you guys are so wrong. That was the best thing I've
It
ever
was-
seen.
I think we should
I thought-
close this down right now because if you don't like that scene, like we will never come to agreement on anything.
I
so this movie-
I thought the scene was funny.
But I mean, like, it was funny, but it was also
But-
really awkward and weird, and especially when the movie has these moments, because I believe the first movie was a lot darker and a lot more serious, a real Steven Soderbergh movie. And this movie is mired in that. It's still shot like an indie film and feels like an indie film, but then it's also the big road trip comedy with these big, broad moments and tons of dance numbers. And
This movie's nothing-
It doesn't feel like a road trip comedy at all.
no, it doesn't, but it has
No,
those
I disagree.
moments.
I think it feels a lot like a road trip comedy.
I feel like
It
it's
feels like
aiming
it
for
wants
road
to
trip
be
comedy.
that. But like,
And succeeds. I agree.
Road trip, yes. Comedy, that seems to be.
like, and going back to the, like, destination, like, if this is the last hurrah, it should be more of a celebration, and we should have more, like, it's so depressing.
Oh god, the movie's a celebration.
No, it feels so depressing.
No,
It
you were
feels
just
like
talking
this-
how it wasn't depressing enough. It's totally, it's a
It's
feel-good
trying
movie.
to be fun. That's what it's trying.
It's
like,
trying-
No,
to be.
it absolutely succeeds.
Oh,
like
it's
I
no.
don't understand how you don't think it doesn't succeed. Like that's wrong. It's incorrect.
Because it's so awkward. Like, all this.
How is it awkward?
Oh, there's so many moments. Like, just the. Okay, so.
Go for it, Lauren.
Oh, I know. I want to find. Like, I feel like I should go to the notes. The moment of awkward when Channing is working in his furniture shop. It's starting to build, and then a hip hop song comes on, and he starts re-embracing.
Yeah, it was great.
Refining his hip hop.
How was
The
that
perfect scene.
awkward? That was so
He
funny.
was doing
That
such
was
creepy dancing
No,
with like his
it was
tools.
such a
It looked very
throwback to
dangerous.
Flashdance.
That's not what you do when you are soldering something.
Oh
You're not
my
supposed
God.
to thrust it with
I
your
was
penis.
afraid his shirt was going to catch on fire with those sparks, too.
Yeah, this movie barely takes place in the real world.
Okay.
There's a stripper convention that they're going to. You have to buy into that.
Which is insane. Which I
Yes,
certainly-
absolutely.
I have lots
It's
of
totally
questions.
insane.
I don't have a problem with the idea of a stripper convention, but the way a stripper convention is presented in this movie makes no sense to me. Like, I'm sure there are stripper conventions like there are porn conventions.
Like booths where, like,
Booths.
try this new
Professional
pole. It's
people
really
come,
great.
and people can like see performances. But this stripper convention is just straight up. Let's have tons of women in a big room watching lots of strippers.
It's a stripper show.
It's a stripper show, and it's
That's
calling
correct.
it a convention is very strange.
Okay, so they called it like the big show instead of a convention.
And that's another thing. It felt they were leading up to this big thing, like it was supposed to be this big deal, like regionals. Like they need to do well at this. Like you're Pitch Perfect. They don't need to do well at it. They first of all
for themselves.
No, but for them, it's not about competing. It's legitimately for reaching an audience.
But is it the competition? Okay, if it's really, then are they continuing with the stripping if it's reaching an audience? Or is this just their art and they want to perform their art for thousands and thousands of screaming women?
And how do they judge this? Because the women were pretty free and easy
Is
with the
it
singles. They
judged?
just started throwing them out the instant anyone was
Or
on
it's
stage.
just a performance. And then that means that the schedule for this day is, okay, and also the question, is the
You're
convention,
nitpicking shit now.
is the
This
conven-
doesn't
I
make
need to nitpick
this is
this
totally
shit. It
like
makes
it doesn't
no
it doesn't
sense.
matter though. The
It
stuff you're
absolutely
nitpicking
matters.
makes literally no
Does
sense.
the movie exist in a realistic, the first movie exist in a realistic world?
Kind of. I
Then
mean,
how
like,
is this
no,
one
I would
done?
say the Kings of Tampa, like, are at a point of celebrity in the first movie that's really unrealistic.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's certainly darker. I mean, it's more grounded in that sense that people, take drugs and go down, like, horrible downward spirals. But, like, I don't, like, Laura can weigh in on this too. Like, the Kings of Tampa in the first one, they are at, like a really strange level of celebrity.
Like they're recognized when they go to the store, or, people look away shamefully.
Yeah, and it's like this really esteemed group of strippers. I don't know that really exists.
It's so nice that the male stripper world is so different from the female stripper world.
It probably does exist in Florida.
Yeah.
It's probably a big thing.
Yes, you made the point about this is our second film about Florida.
Yeah,
we were reviewing.
Spring Breakers, which you defended as well. You must like Florida.
I don't feel like
think.
Hollywood displays a fair depiction of Florida. I feel like they are presenting it as just endless party and nonsense.
Well,
and it can't
technically,
be like
the
that.
stripper convention was in Florida,
Well,
so
sure.
you could just say Georgia.
But
has
then the Kings of Tampa.
No, yeah,
bad-
but it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole South,
And
really.
just the whole drive up was just endless party and fun and cougars and everything. But yes, Georgia did have the weird True Blood sex seraglio run by Jada Pinkett Smith.
That
Yeah.
was so weird. That was a brothel, right?
That was weird.
Right.
This is
I will
A
believe.
male brothel.
Okay, and I have so many questions about that. Is it ladies only? Or is there also a men's section to Jada Pinkett's weird mansion of stripping in the Spanish Moss of Georgia?
I believe it's ladies only.
Okay.
But there's that
There's
one
the
girl
lady in the
doing,
beginning who's doing flexes overhead, and I think there were some guys, and I assume they were clients.
Mm-hmm.
But then all the back rooms seem to be nothing but queens just shouting for their men.
That's kind of Rome's thing, yeah.
Kind of what?
No, that's Rome's thing, is queens. You know, she's...
Queens
not
being,
queens, but queens being like...
Women.
Which is kind of...
Yeah.
I like that she
Which I was kind of... Earlier they had used the term queens, but that was for... Apparently not men who dress up as women, but just men who kind of prance around a little bit. So like Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, who put the minimum amount of effort into cross-dressing. I think he had a boa and a Carmen Miranda hat.
And he won $400 from Queen Mary.
When everyone else just kind of pranced a little bit and they were considered queens, they are not drag queens.
And this is at the drag queen club that they go to whenever they drive up north.
Yeah, Mad Mary.
And Mad Mary's, yeah. And it seemed like a very small club with very minimal performance value. But they're all... Manganiello has been trying to get Channing Tatum to focus on this weekend. Like, forget about work, forget about everything that's important. We're going to throw your phone out the window, which is not a thing that friends do.
No. Friends do not throw friends' cell phones out windows.
Because he wants Channing to come down the rabbit hole. And so... This club that they always go to is having this dance competition, and so Channing's like, hey, you want to go down the rabbit hole? Let's do something crazy. Let's get on a stage and dance.
You're describing what happens, yes. I agree
but
that all of that happens.
Preposterous. It's so... Nothing is happening. They just get on stage and they dance in a drag club? Are the stakes the fact that they're actually dancing in front of men, which appears to happen at no other time in this movie?
Sure, and then if you look at the way they're dancing, there's no kind of like haha look at us moment. They're doing it for real. They're doing it very sincerely.
But they're just dancing. He's acting like this is a big thing for us. I imagine it's probably happened before, but they always
like that's the thing. They dance, they connect with an audience.
But he
they make people feel
worthwhile. This is like, we're gonna do something naughty. Like, we're gonna go dance on the gay stage.
Oh, yeah, the down the rabbit hole really suggests, like...
This is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be, cray-cray.
Yeah.
And like, it was... And they take Molly's one time.
That's after.
And it results in an amazing scene.
It's a terrible...
What?
With the Manganiello?
Yeah, it's great. And they're brainstorming. It was all great. Yeah.
That is true.
What was I going to say?
Although I think that Manganiello was absolutely justified in rejecting Channing's plan to have a whole new act, because it's 2 days before the convention, and you don't have time to prepare for that.
Well, I guess this... You're going to use the they're not quite living in the real world excuse again. But yeah, they have basically less than 1 day to do very well choreographed dance numbers, and which, by the way,
they're dancers. I mean, what do you expect? They know moves.
I would say, by the way,
I have to tell you, I have. Okay, those sets are pretty not very big. I mean,
you have to do it.
One's a candy thing on the couch, and the other one is like literally metal things, so a woman can go in the middle.
You have to build a frame, and you have to buy a sex swing to put a woman in. Awkwardly.
The sex swing.
You have to get a cart that's got boobs on it for your frozen yogurt bit. Like, that takes work to decide to do.
We have a montage.
Something you decide to do 3 days in advance, but then didn't start doing until the day before.
And going back to the dance choreography, there's one really well choreographed dance number, and it's Mike and I can't remember his name
because they barely made a point of giving him a name.
No, but I knew it up until
because he was generic dancer guy, and I felt bad for him.
And they're the two who are really good at dancing.
Yeah, they were very good.
Yeah,
it was very.
the rest, and also, I mean, the women would have to have been on the choreography too for some of this stuff.
Yes, a lot of these dance numbers.
They did nothing. They sat in a chair.
But in a lot of them, in Rome's place in Georgia, in a lot of these, like the implied that they're just going up to strange women and manipulating their bodies and throwing over their heads, things you could not do with a stranger. There are safety issues. It's crazy.
I'm sure if you join that Rome's sex.
Oh, okay. They're like classes beforehand that like, all right.
No, I'm sure you signed a disclaimer.
But then also like, if or someone throws you over your head, you have to hold your core. You have to like keep your body taut while they manipulate you. Like, I feel like there are sex club Pilates that they have to do beforehand to really get good at dancing with the guys.
Yes, I agree. It's a buy-in. You have to just go for it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't. What? Back to Rome. So he goes and asks for Rome for help because their MC and driver Fluffy gets into an accident where they make really poor choices to let the driver take drugs, and so they go asking Rome for help. And she's all, here, let me show you something. And basically, she shows them, which I don't get what her help was, whatever. It seems like they could have gotten an MC off the street. But she's like, here, let me show you something. And then she shows what she does. Why? Why did she show what she was doing in this house of ill repute?
Well, to show how good it was. Like, it was this really high-level strip. Like, it was a burlesque, kind of bordello that was much better than just stripping in clubs, I think was her presentation. Oh. My issue was, we went to Rome's as if Channing knew where to get a new MC, but then his whole time there, he keeps maintaining, like, no, I didn't come here to ask for that. I just saw this road trip as an opportunity to say sorry for what we did. And so it felt like, what was the point of going there?
He does that for like 3 scenes, and then he comes straight with her at the end, and she gets upset.
No, he doesn't. He at no point says, like, he's about to say, like, maybe, I thought it'd be fun for us, but no, really,
the scene cuts off before the conversation's over. No, I mean, like, that's actually what happens.
I don't think it does.
Yes, it does.
I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to my thing about how I don't understand why she's showing him these things. He knew where she was, so he had to have known what kind of operation she was running.
Well, it's something
they're left in an area, and he knows where to go, so he goes to see her, an old friend, and then they're reconnecting. He's not just going to go out the book, hey, can you MC? Especially
I'm not saying that, but why is she showing him this stuff?
He does say something like it's new. Like, he used to dance here before it was all this, or something that he said. So this is a new thing that she has.
It still felt like, I don't know.
It felt like we didn't have any reason to be there.
What's gratuitous about it? Nothing. I mean, like, it's just a fun scene. I mean,
whoa.
I don't know why it is.
It's so long.
I mean, I feel like this is
the longest thing in the world.
I mean, really?
He goes to talk to her.
This is a good part to bring in gender politics now. We're talking about Rome, and we're showing a woman in really big power in this movie about guys stripping. So this is a big point for women's politics here.
I'm going to say, it is not nitpicking when I'm calling into question a scene that was extremely long and incredibly boring.
Yeah.
So that is not nitpicking. That's the crux of what I'm saying about this whole movie.
I think I liked Rome. Like, she was a strong, sassy character. I did like that. Considering that all of the women in the movie are reduced to, like, sex-mad, screaming women, it was nice to have a woman who was powerful and making something out of it. But her scenes of talking were very short, because then it went into Down on the Club for a dance number. We had a rap number from a delightful Donald Glover.
Which
then
I think
we had
is
another
the
dance
crux
number.
Of that
then we
whole
had
sequence.
Another dance number. It was so difficult to see Donald Glover in this, because it's like, I'm excited to see you. But,
You left Community for this?
No, I will say that the Rome scene does that whole sequence does go on a little bit long. So a large part of this movie is these guys struggling with, not struggling, but a large part of this movie is how to, for lack of a better word, to pleasure women, to give them, to fulfill their needs. Mm-hmm. And not just on a physical level, but also on an emotional level. And you have that scene with Donald Glover, and you see him kind of taking cues from that one girl, and then singing a song, or rapping and singing a song for her, making her the center of the world. And then later on you see him, talking about, like, he kind of generalizes their family life. They have husbands who don't ever pay attention to them, don't listen to them. And it's like, that's what they, if only people, like, all I do is listen and respond, and he doesn't say that as in a skeezy way. He's saying it sincerely, like, what a thought, like, this is, we're paying attention to what these women need. And that's the whole point of the Rome sequence. She's built this big mansion where the entire focus is giving women what they need.
Yeah, that's fair, and that's nice.
Uh-huh. And if they were to introduce her in shorter couple of minutes, you wouldn't understand her character as much as you do. And I feel like that's what my feeling is that you get a good sense of what she is. She's not just a one-dimensional character. You see her as a more three-dimensional character, because you get to see what she does and how her role in this world, this Magic Mike world, how she plays into it.
Going back to, like, Donald Glover about how women should be, listening to them and treating women how they should be treated. One of my big problems with this is how women are portrayed. Because in that scene, as he makes this great point about how women should be listened to, but then it's almost immediately underscored or undercut when he asks the girl, what do you love most in the world? And what was her answer? Alcohol.
Sweet little girl that looks so timid and she's brought out by Rome to say we need someone here who needs to be reminded how beautiful she is.
Yeah.
And so she's signaled out for this single moment with Donald Glover.
I mean, I guess
I don't think he didn't do a song about how alcohol's the center of her world.
No.
But just that moment was so strange.
It's strange, but that feels like something that someone would say when they're put on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, obviously a worse answer would have been ma'am or cock or something like that.
Sure.
But it was still a horrible oh yeah, women should be listened to. Let's hear what a woman has to say.
I
love alcohol.
That's not any great statement about. I don't think that's any statement that the movie's making about women. No, of course not.
I don't know if it is a statement about women in general, but it really makes me worry about Caroline in that moment. Don't sing to her. Get her into counseling. Have a talk with her. Sweetie, that can't be all. Your mother was the first owner of a grocery store in the South. Come on.
The alcohol. It's such a throwaway answer, though. But
it didn't feel it is a throwaway answer, but also what?
She's not writing a great essay about what means most to her. If you handed her a questionnaire and said what means most to you, and then gave her 10 minutes, her answer would be totally different.
You know
on the spot.
You know what would have been a really good answer? I don't know.
It's meant to be funny.
And then
it sounds like it's meant to be funny,
but she doesn't say it like a joke. It sounds sincere when she says it.
He could have worked
as a joke.
Alcohol. She's so timid in that moment, and she could have said kittens, and it would have been a fine throwaway. It doesn't matter.
I think
we're going to focus on Donald Glover.
I think it could have been I don't know, you put me on the spot, and then he could have gone with that and said, yeah, that's right. You know why nobody ever listens to you, and blah blah blah. And it really could have gone somewhere.
It feels like if alcohol was not a point, then it was a really terrible choice that someone should have said. That's a weird thing for her to say. Let's explore that or not say it.
I honestly don't
think
the writers gave it a second thought and thought it was weird at all.
So you feel like the writers didn't do very much on this movie?
No, I feel like the writers, did a good job. I don't think anyone would single that part out.
Would pick out. I think that's the thing that you might pick out with the Notebook.
We were in the audience.
No, I feel like that is absolutely that.
Well, if you're searching for something,
that doesn't make your ears perk up. When you're learning about a new character and with this little information we have about that character.
Out of the context of the moment. No, of course not. That doesn't sound weird at all.
A character you're never to see again?
It would have been different too if there was alcohol. This seemed to be a dry joint. I didn't see women with alcohol. It would have been different if she were sloshed already. But no, she was not.
She said laughingly.
Because when you get drunk, of course, everyone who's drunk loves alcohol.
See, I took her delivery totally different. I took it as a joke. And again, it's context. If you handed someone a questionnaire and said, what is your most favorite thing in the world? And they wrote alcohol, then you go what was up with that? If you're put on the spot at a strip club and a guy asks you, what's your favorite thing in the world? You think of some random thing to say. And she said that.
I don't know.
Wait, I'm sure we won't ever agree on it. I'm worried about Caroline.
A character you never see again.
I hope that she is getting help.
She's out of her
relationship. Almost every scene where a main character is, or where Mike or anyone is talking one-on-one to a woman, those scenes were so boring. When he was talking to Amber Heard the first time on the beach, when she caught him urinating, that scene took forever.
Because he pauses a lot and it takes some time to figure out how thoughts work.
I guess.
I could not disagree more. I think their meet cute in the shadows is great.
The meet cute was fine, but then they so you want to go to this island?
Which gives Mike an important character moment to turn her down and not go to the island to sleep with her?
It was a good choice for a character, but his delivery of it was just so yeah, catch you later. It was just his speech, his delivery lines is so stilted.
We've already established we're not going to agree on Channing Tatum.
I'm sorry. All right. And then when Zoe, we discover her name is, but the meet cute on the beach, comes back, we see her in Half Light, and so when she comes back in the Southern Cougars parlor later on with the friends, it really felt are we supposed to recognize her? I figured out it must be this girl, but we barely saw her before, and her weird side cornrows are gone. So just the moment of no, we don't really know who that girl is enough to be oh shit, she's back.
That's a fair point. Moment. That's a fair point that I didn't question because I knew it was Amber Heard both times. But
that's fair. Do you know her from other stuff? Is she well established for you? Okay.
Yeah, she's kind of a notorious celebrity too. I know.
Notorious?
She's married to Johnny Depp.
Is she? Yeah, she's 12.
She's 30.
What? No way. Yeah. That's weird. Well, that makes me feel better about the age difference between the two of them. This is interesting. Yes, do the same.
There was that wine scene, by the way. That was a scene that I'm somebody wrote this. Somebody
Yeah,
put
and
pen to paper.
It was great.
Oh my god, it was awful.
Like their interactions are fun. I mean, I guess that's a taste thing too.
Oh, I don't mean just their interactions. I mean that whole scene.
When Andy McDowell...
She's 29, so
she's 29? Okay.
30.
So when Andy McDowell comes in, they go to visit, the Southern Plantation to see the girl that Tito hooked up with. And all her middle-aged single mothers are there having a wine party and just falling over the stripper guys.
By the way, I like Tito.
Tito's fun. I do like Tito.
I was disappointed that in the ultimate scene he had his hair like in cornrows or whatever, because I think he looked really cool. I like the loose hair. He looked kind of like a fun guy, not like a bro.
And he had short hair in the first one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's a nice change.
He was nice. He was a fun character.
Yeah. Otherwise I hate him. They were all bros. Maybe that's part of why I don't like the movie. I don't like bros, but...
Guys, there was nothing more uncomfortable to me than when Matt Bomer started singing to that sad, sexually frustrated housewife.
And made her day.
It was so uncomfortable,
awful.
though.
I hated seeing those women
be
treated with respect.
It was trying to be nice, but then it was just it's like...
And everyone in the scene reacted
as though
it were a good thing.
An acoustic guitar to a party, and they just make awkward eye contact with you. It was weird. I feel... and I'm going to admit right now, I don't entirely get strippers, and I feel like... Those ladies were all over these strippers, and I feel like I would always question, any attention they pay you would feel like this isn't genuine because this is your job.
But see, I disagree with you in that scene because they didn't treat them like they were strippers. They were very much.
Didn't they?
The strippers were on one side, the guys are on one side, male entertainers, please. That's the correct
male
word.
entertainers.
And then the women were on the other side.
Exactly.
Of the couch. And
staring at them like they were products.
But there was and there was interaction between them, but there was never that moment of we're gonna start stripping for you, or we're gonna start putting on a show.
No, and we see them by themselves, and they're not treating any of these women with
they're certainly not predatory. I'm not accusing them.
And then this is in the plantation? I'm sorry.
At the plantation.
Okay, yeah.
And then when what's his name? Joe Manganiello hooks up with Andy McDowell at the end when they all find out that they slept together. It's not they're all, she's a catch, I mean, Andy McDowell's a catch, but it's a big moment where they're like, oh wow, good job, dude.
Can we go back to that for a second? He apparently hasn't had sex in months because his penis is too large.
Big. Is that right? He has a very large penis. I know, it's sad.
I'm sorry.
But he says the women won't take him on. Is that the case? As soon as they see him, it's either, can I give you a blowjob or a hand job?
This might be a continuation thing from the first one.
Okay.
I thought it was kind of interesting that that was his big thing in the first one, is that, he's Big Dick Ricky.
But people were excited about that, right?
Yeah, and then watching him have a really bummer repercussion of that in the second movie, I thought was kind of interesting.
But it feels like he would have had lots of success in his life heretofore with that, and lots of women would be happy to take that on.
And he would have found someone at Rome's place, because there were, I'm going to say it, there were a lot of black women there, and I think he would have been okay.
What are you saying, Sam?
I'm saying...
Should we...
read between the lines. But no. It's a common stereotype.
What is?
That a lot
of...
Hey
guys, ice cream! There's ice cream outside, can you hear it? Let's take an ice cream break.
No, because now there's no good stopping point. I think we should put our heads down and power through.
Alright, okay.
It is soft serve. If you guys want soft serve, it sounds good to me.
Is he going to play the music the whole time?
Let's see if he stops.
He usually does, just right there.
This is all going to go in the podcast, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
This is all part of the experience.
That's how I do things.
This is how people know, and how they'll track us down.
How is Tarzan successful? That guy looks like...
He is earthy, and he's kind of like a Mickey Rourke.
I was going to say, he looks like the guy who Mickey Rourke's plastic surgeon practiced on.
Yeah, if Dog the Bounty Hunter is going around with a bunch of handsome
he's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and he's a painter, we discovered. That's his ambition.
The space between his nose and his upper lip was about 8 inches.
It's pretty large.
It's really big.
It's pretty intense.
Frenulum? I don't know what that term is called.
I think
I can only assume he fulfills some sort of niche.
Kind of reassuring that they don't have just pretty people on the screen.
I like it. I like
all different people, all different ages, what they look like,
and he has charisma. When he's all the boys are dancing, he's just really slow and just kind of staring in the eyes and crunching his finger. I'm not saying I'm into Tarzan, but I'm saying I get why that's attractive. I'd give him a chance.
There's a point late in the movie where you could tell the screenwriters were oh man, Mike hasn't checked in with Tarzan in a while. And so they literally write a scene that Mike's all, hey Tarzan, I haven't checked in with you in a while. How you doing? Are you okay with me? And Tarzan's like, yeah, we're cool. And then there's like, okay.
I mean, that's a thing throughout the movie. Mike checks in he has a moment with every single person, and you're waiting for Tarzan's moment.
But it really did feel like an afterthought. Like, oh shoot, he's got to check in with Tarzan too.
And there's
Tarzan's going to be okay with him.
At Andy McDowell's house, where Mike doesn't even know Tarzan's real name.
Yeah. But it felt like, oh, we got to do this now because, and obviously Tarzan can't be upset because it's too late in the movie for him to be upset with the guy because we can't fix this in just 20 minutes.
Yeah, guys, let me actually have a monologue right now about Desert Storm.
How do you suppose that lady in the Joe Mangina scene at the end, is she still in that sex swing?
She stays in there for a while.
That was so awful.
I was waiting for that moment where he helps her out of it.
Rule number one with audience interaction: you help her out of that thing immediately because no one wants to be in a sex swing in front of thousands of women.
No. I mean, I don't know if you when Mike and Mike and the other guy do their big dance at the end. If you look carefully in the background, they're actually having sex.
Oh, okay. That's fine then.
Yeah.
If that's the alternative to being helped out, is the sex.
She initiates it from the swing,
of course.
What was this movie rated?
Because when you have
R.
PG-13.
Is it PG-13?
No,
it's PG-13.
There's no nudity.
Yeah.
It's R. No, it's R.
Is it R?
There's like 20 F-bombs.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of F-bombs. I don't even listen to those anymore, but there was no nudity. And if you're getting the R, why not throw in some nudity?
Yeah, let's see that big old...
I guess if it is supposed to be female empowering, though... and male penises will get you more than an R.
Or in the first
Yeah.
one. In the first one, at least, there was. I don't know.
Not as much as this one. It was about the same.
And so, from the first one... So, Mike was the star of the show? Was he, the very best of the guys?
Yes.
Okay. And then...
He was just the main
Had he been there with a long time? Because there
Yes.
seems to be a lot of animosity over the fact that he left the group.
Yes.
But I feel like with strippers, there'd be a lot of turnover. I feel like there'd be a lot of people moving on to other things or just not being able to cut it anymore.
You get the impression in the first one that that crew had been together for a really long time.
They're really tight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And was Dallas a dick in the first movie?
Yes.
I felt like when, by virtue of the fact that his name is Dallas, and Mike gets the voicemail in the beginning saying Dallas has passed on, I'm like, he died of AIDS, right? Because I'm so in my head, Dallas Buyers Club. But okay.
He screws Mike out of something at the end. I don't remember. Yeah.
And then that brings me to another question then. So none of these guys are gay?
No. I don't know.
I mean, I would really strongly assume Ken was, but then they talk about his girlfriend that he broke up with, and it's not because he's discovered he's gay.
Yeah.
Which is confusing. And I feel like,
he's married in the first one.
Yeah, he is.
And then this goes into something with the movie that bothered me that, in the male performer, niche, there are lots of homosexual men. Yeah. And then in the clubs, you'd assume there would be lots of men. And so I've never been into a female audience strip club, but do they not let guys in? Because I feel like at the convention, at any of these clubs, there should have been some guys. There should have been a mix because that's what the audience...
Sure, that's a fair point.
But really...
I guess this is that world, though, that...
I guess, but it felt weird to me. It felt really, especially when this audience must know that lots of gay guys are going to come see this movie, to exclude them from it felt unfair. At the same time as we're arguing that this is female empowerment, but you're ignoring a huge part of your audience base.
No, I think that's a fair point.
But it's
also,
in the South, too, and we're at the beginning of...
gay guys in the
South. But progressively wise, I don't think they're they're at that point yet.
In Miami and Tampa, you have that.
But we're not in Miami, we're in Myrtle Beach.
But then at a convention, you would pull the crowds.
I mean, the thing I could say to that...
I don't know about Chippendales. I think it's women only. I don't know.
Okay. But they're not strictly Chippendales, are they? I don't know.
But I'm just saying, and the audience, I think it's... So, I'm guessing that's what they would... So, and we didn't see everyone in the audience.
But, I mean...
it
was
prominently women.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was some moment, I can't remember exactly what it was, but some sort of not maybe entirely homophobic, but a little bit of a statement that seemed to suggest that the characters were anti-male homosexuality.
Really?
I wish I could remember it. Dang it, I don't think I even wrote it down. But picking on someone, I'm not sure what it was. Dang it, I can't back that up strongly. But just it settled weirdly with me.
That seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And what I can say to that is any given movie can't cover all of its bases.
Sure, I would especially.
But I think that's fair. That's
not only just because the movie could address this, but by virtue of the fact that it seems like a large part of the potential audience would be gay, of the audience of the movie. So it seems like just a poor choice on the producers.
Yeah, one of the dancers.
But I mean, also, going back to what Laura mentioned about Chippendales, it's like, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but like typically, like you hear lots of women talking about Chippendales and not a ton of gay men.
And actually, on the other hand, it does seem like, again, this is stereotypes, but the gay community are very open, and if you're already getting it for free, why would you pay for it? You know, if you're there's a lot of gay community work out and have nice bodies, and so they're going to.
You can go see it at the gym. So.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's specific bars and clubs that are for gay people. So I mean, I don't think that they.
And maybe because I don't know, maybe it's a like women only audience, which seems unfair. Then in the
I think it's a very interesting point to make. That yeah.
Maybe Magic Mike.
Is he gay?
Triple X. Well,
that's where he gets it.
I really hoped that when I heard that the name was Magic Mike XXL, that they had all put on a lot of weight, and now
they gotta get back in shape.
They're all double XL guys, and
that would have been a fun journey. Like, we gotta get back in shape before the convention.
No, I wanted it to be where like they're saying, "Hey, just because we got a few more pounds doesn't mean we're not attractive, ladies." That would have been an empowering movie.
That would have been nice, yeah. And the women still, because we're women, they would have appreciated them.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to talk about the movie we wish we'd seen?
Ugh, this movie is crap. I could write a better movie in my sleep.
And now, IDOBM presents the movie we'd wish we'd seen.
This is the part where we talk about the movie that we wish we'd seen based on something to do with this. Prequel, sequel, simultaneous movie, taking a few characters and changing it. Laura and Bobby, do you even have one, or do you... Or?
Yeah, I dug this movie.
This is a movie that is a great... what's it? The word that follows successor.
Sequel?
Sequel or successor to the original. And I actually like this one better than the original.
I would agree with you. One thing didn't work for me in the movie was Elizabeth Banks. I think you could just carefully cut her right out of the movie. Yeah.
I enjoyed
she was like pitch perfect.
She's a joy. I love Elizabeth Banks, but I don't...
It was like she was in Pitch Perfect.
That's another one, though. That was a big question I had. They make this big journey, and they're like discussing a new show. They get to the convention. They don't even have a spot at the convention.
No, I agree. That's the one. That's one part where the plot got a little weird for me.
Okay, so it's not Elizabeth Banks' fault that these guys are unprepared. And then I think that's bananas.
I think the implied connection between her and Rome was like a little bit much too. I'm like,
but Rome time.
That was a homosexual. Actual not homosexual.
It was
female homosexuality, which is very different.
Which is okay. Everyone loves that.
Everyone.
I had, maybe it is kind of nitpicky, I guess, but I thought it was interesting that Elizabeth Banks was the one who checked them in, which is like a menial job, and she's also the host of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
She's the host, and then they have an MC too. Yeah, no, I get it. It raises way more problems than it's worth.
It was.
And how many numbers are like? The implication is that these ladies are seeing strippers all night long. Mm-hmm. Like it's one show after another. Like after these boys, it's tons of different guys. Do they bring in new ladies? Like, is it the same ladies who watched the Twilight strip? Are they coming into
they go in and out?
Oh, that's a ton. Guys, there's a Twilight strip.
The Twilight strip was cool.
I have a big question about the Twilight strip.
Yeah,
the guy in the flannel, was that Charlie?
I couldn't tell.
In which case, her father is stripping for her, and I'm not comfortable with that.
There's an interesting moment, and to be fair, someone else pointed out to me in a review where so after that strip, Joe Manganiello's character, is really upset, and someone's like, "What's killing out there?" He's like, "Twilight," and then he gets back, like there's Twilight, shit going on, and then Tarzan says like, "Oh, it's like what tweeners grew up on, and now they're grown up," and that's like a moment where they could like roll their eyes at it, and they all sit there for a moment and let that sink in, and then Joe Manganiello says, "I just don't want to tank out there." And, like, that's a moment where they're taking that seriously. They're taking Twilight seriously. I thought that was really interesting.
I actually did enjoy the different themes of strips that they had. Like, they had the Matrix stripper, apparently. And what were the few other ones? They had your typical, like, construction worker, but they had a few other fun theme ones like that.
Leather daddies.
Yeah.
That's going to be a weird night. That's a weird convention.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of dollar bills. Because
exhausting.
it was raining
Yeah.
on the Kings of Tampa. And so, all those other guys, I hope somebody saved the bills.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's a fun night.
They were giving away...
It sounds like an exhausting night. That's a lot of screaming.
They were giving... You just appeared on the floor and they were chucking money in.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Okay, so anyway,
right,
Lauren, let's talk about the movie you wish you'd
I've seen. So the amendments I would make to this film.
Just like what? Yeah, whatever. Do you want me to say?
Oh no, I get it.
Okay.
I think I do. I'm probably wrong. As I've said, I wish they would have raised the stakes for the guys. Like, we're going to the convention to accomplish something. Like, that Channing is going to save his business, and even if it was ostensibly like, yeah, it's for that, but it's also for us to get back together, and like the friendship is at the core of that, that's fine. But some bigger drive for them to be doing this. And then I know you feel like it is funny and it's a fun run film. I feel like a little bit more joy. Like, I was watching it, like, I wish I were watching Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
I have no idea what movie you're watching.
That is a fun road film.
Yeah.
And, like, I wanted a little more fun. Like, it was trying, and I think it was trying to have that, but I was just sitting there like, oh, this isn't fun for me.
Yeah, that was the thing with the road trip movies. If there's not like necessarily a point to being at each point there, to each location.
Yeah, like they're vignettes.
But
you have adventures.
It's something happens and I just felt like nothing happened. Like, okay, Joe Manganiello, whatever, got his dick wet. That was the point of them seeing the women. The making the convenience girl smile, which was I think a funny scene, which she would have smiled earlier on. That's bullshit, but whatever. Going to Rome's. What, aside from just getting an MC and the false alarm, like, are they gonna, I don't know, whatever. There was no point to it, especially for as long as it was. I didn't feel there was any point to that at all. And I don't know, that bugged me. It's like, and this movie clocked in at 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's a long movie.
It's a long movie.
And so much, and I think a lot of it could have been cut, and I'm not even saying the dancing. I'm not into the dancing, but obviously that's an important part of the movie, so that should have stayed in. Cut down scenes a lot. They could have actually, I think they could have gotten rid of the Amber Heard part. I didn't care about that so much. Anyway. My movie that I wish I'd seen, there's early on when Mike goes to the pool party, there's this girl running around in just a bikini and a helmet, and just like headbutting people and walls and things. I want to know her story. I want to know, is she some sort of alien? Is she special in some way? Is she a hanger-on? Was she in the first movie?
I don't remember.
She was a weird girl. She begged more questions.
Yeah, and you never saw her face. I want to know about the actress too. I want to know behind the scenes. Like, what is the meaning of all this?
That scene really played into my conception of what Florida must be according to Hollywood. Like, it's endless parties, guys. It sounds
and
great.
It's totally normal to have a wake at a hotel.
Of course.
Or a motel. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a wake.
The wake was a ruse.
Yeah.
To get Magic Mike back. So that is the movie I wish I'd seen.
And you guys are completely solid. So, all right.
So now, it's Bad Movie Raps. This is the part where, like always, we talk about the rap that was in this bad movie of Donald Glover. What did you guys think of his raps?
That was great. That was really great.
I listened to it after.
I don't know a lot about raps, and so I assume that he did well. It seemed to have a flow and good. I enjoy him. He's a little button.
I agree. I think he's a talented musician, although I will say the scene after that when they're driving to Andy McDowell's, that was another scene that just went on too long. I mean, they were talking about things, and I don't know, I just didn't care at all.
Yeah, dialogue is a real dragon movie, huh?
This movie?
In this movie, it's a bit of a clunker.
I could not disagree more. I thought that was a great
If
scene.
Quentin Tarantino wrote that scene, it would be scintillating.
Yeah. No, I love dialogue, but we're gonna skip what's it called? Bobby and Laura discuss gender politics in the movie we just watched.
Yeah.
Unless you just agree with each other. Do you want to try to have the conversation and see if anything interesting comes out of it?
Do you want to try it for a second?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. Bobby and Laura discuss gender politics in the movie we just watched.
Susan B. Anthony was on the dollar coin for a ruse.
Stop objectifying me.
Gloria Steinem.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Equal rights amendment was never ratified.
Rosie the Riveter.
Oh my God, Bobby, shut up.
Rosie the Robot.
Who's gonna make me my sandwich?
My body, my choice.
Blatant.
Blatant.
Susan B. Anthony was taken off the dollar for a reason.
Beyonce.
I thought that gender politics were spot on, and I think that's a hard thing to accomplish in a movie where there aren't a ton of prominent female roles. But I think it's a movie that really takes the wants and needs of women seriously, and these men have a million opportunities during the movie to kind of be cynical about the whole thing. And they're very sincere. You never doubt for a second that these women's needs aren't at the forefront of their intentions. And I think that's really the heart of the movie, and I think that's really interesting, and I think that lends itself to a lot of the joy of the film.
I also would like to add that I think it's good that Mike and Zoe don't end up together at the end.
Yes.
And that's important. A lot of times in movies that doesn't happen. It always usually ends up with the main characters getting together, and they weren't together, so that was cool.
Mike sincerely wanted to make her smile.
Yeah.
And he did it
Oh!
with a weird rapey dance.
I felt, the dance was really rapey. I really felt that her smile was like a nervous smile. Like, I feel really rapey. Could you stop? But she can't because she's in front of thousands of people.
But I don't mean to, by the end she was consenting. No, I mean, I don't mean that. But, I don't know.
And
I think that's where the movie wanted to go, for sure.
And I felt like they had that moment where he asked her, where he said, I finally got you to smile. And she's like, yeah, you did. And I felt that was necessary because otherwise, it was really rapey.
You guys, that was a weird rapey number. They come out with the bandanas on their faces, and there's nothing women like more than a faceless attacker. And they have the red light, and there's swooping and hair grabbing. It was I know this is sexy, but in my mind, I'm feeling uncomfortable. You loved it. I know.
It was fun. And I think you're reading a little too much into it.
So, you guys haven't changed your minds? You love the movie?
No.
It was fun.
And let me say, so I've defended 3 movies. I totally, Phantom Menace was terrible. I'm going to admit that here. I regret defending Phantom Menace, and the fact that it's one of our most downloaded episodes, kills me that I'm out there talking about how good of a movie Phantom Menace was. And I know Spring Breakers got a little heated, but Spring Breakers is a really divisive movie. I totally get why people don't like Spring Breakers. I sincerely don't understand how anyone cannot love this movie. I think it's a blast. I had such a good time. It should be said, I watched it twice. I watched it one more time, in preparation for this podcast, and I still had fun the second time. I love this movie.
Laura?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I came out and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it better than the first one, and I enjoyed the first one as well, but this one was better.
And Lauren?
I did not enjoy it. I'm going to admit, I'm not sure it's entirely for me because I'm not hugely into strippers. And
unlike Bobby.
I'm super into strippers.
Bobby's super into strippers.
Every day.
We all know that. That's something we maybe not discussed before.
And that's how I know there's predominantly not gay men in male strip clubs.
Much to your chagrin.
Yeah. Bummer.
And so I will admit that seeing it makes me want to see the first one more because I want to understand. I want to see where they came from and how they grew together. So I can appreciate this movie in full context, but I strongly doubt whether it will make me like this movie.
I will say, and it might hurt my case more, I think this movie is pretty standalone in that I don't know that you would get a ton of background from the first one.
I think if you hate this one as much as you seem to hate it, then you shouldn't watch the first one because I don't think you absolutely won't like it.
I think that part's up in the air. The first one is a very, very different movie.
It is different, but I don't think, Channing Tatum is the main star of that movie.
That's
so that sounds pretty daunting.
And if you don't like him, then you're not going to like the first one. So
and they throw in Alex Pettyfer too, who actually is everything
who disappears.
Who is everything you were saying about Channing Tatum.
He's a Rice Krispie face.
Yeah.
And for my part, I gotta say, I don't want to say you make a point, but I said to Lauren, we're gonna go into an open mind with this, and I really did try to go in the open mind, but maybe there's some of, this isn't getting good reviews, which by the way, it's up to 61%. I swear it was.
No,
it's fluctuating.
Okay. Because it was, I don't remember.
I think it's 63 now.
Oh, 61 now?
Is it according to,
It was 63 when I checked it earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, this is a whirlwind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I really do think I did not enjoy the movie, and there were a few funny parts. I did enjoy the convenience mart scene, but even that was it was contrived and okay, this is funny because it's funny to watch a grown man make a fool of himself like this. But I didn't like it. Did not care for it.
And I sincerely don't get you.
Well, I think you guys should go out and watch it in the theaters, and maybe there are some theaters that have cheaper movie nights, and you can check it out and decide for yourselves, because I think you guys will like it.
That's right. Fundamentally, this podcast is about promoting conversation, and not everyone will agree. And so our audience should make up their own minds.
And I think they should just listen to me.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But for us, as far as this group goes, friendship over.
Mm-hmm. Yes, friendship over.
Yes.
I don't think we're going to make it to the next podcast,
we'll be splintering
guys.
into 2 separate podcasts now. More news on our website.
That's why we're bringing on the guest defender, so that we can all firmly get back on one side together.
Okay, so now that we talked about a movie that some of us defended and enjoyed, and some of us did not defend and enjoy, let's talk about things that need no defense. This is just anything that you guys have watched or done or seen lately that is just really awesome that you want to talk about. You want to start, Lauren?
Inside Out, the new Pixar movie, is absolutely amazing, and... Did we talk about it last time? I don't care. It's still amazing.
It's really good.
And I want to say how pleased I am that it's doing so well. I was worried.
Oh, you want to hear a funny thing? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Elizabeth Banks' character's name is Paris, and, Jada Pinkett Smith is around. That's really funny.
That's so funny. I wish they would acknowledge it at some point. It's not funny.
It's like when East met West in Wild Wild West.
Oh, I'm sad they didn't have that moment.
Oh, please don't compare the 2 movies. One's terrible and one's great. And
and I think we both agree that, no, they're both terrible. So Inside Out for you?
Inside Out for me, absolutely. And I'm so excited that kids seem to be getting it and loving it. I was worried it would be over their heads, but no, everyone loves it because it's so good.
They apparently aren't weeping the way we did.
Well, no, that's terrible. And anyone who doesn't
because
might not have a soul.
to get to that point.
But yeah. They don't know that everything is pain.
I bought the soundtrack to the movie. And there are parts where I have to fight back tears because I think of the movie. That's
it's a good soundtrack.
Michael Giacchino did the music. He did he did Up.
Oh, okay.
He did he does a bunch of stuff. He does a lot of Pixar.
Okay, cool. So anything would you like to use that as your thing that you don't need to defend?
Yeah, but also we just rewatched Terminator, and Terminator is a really good movie, guys. Terminator is great.
You guys really like Terminator? See, we rewatched Terminator and Terminator 2, and I feel like Terminator is a good start, but I still had qualms about the first one.
I like Terminator.
It's still fun. But it all
goes
leads
to show you that Lauren
because
I have good opinions.
Because it all leads to T2, and T2 is the amazing film.
Yeah, it's like a bigger, louder version of the
better,
first one.
wonderful, more emotional.
Oh my god,
more emotional. The last part of Terminator, the last scene when she's driving, is just
so good.
The best.
You guys, Michael Biehn is sort of a 1980s Channing Tatum. He's a little bit of a marshmallow face.
No, he's great.
He's fine.
Is that how you describe every white guy who you think is just playing a marshmallow face?
I like it. I think it's a really good description. It evokes what I'm trying to achieve.
No.
The Terminator movie starred the biggest marshmallow face of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I think Channing Tatum was way more of a marshmallow face than Michael Biehn.
That's fair. All right.
Did we do, Laura? Did we do your what you don't need to defend?
What I not need to defend? Well, this movie, because it's fresh, it has a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. And a 71% in user ratings, so you guys know it.
Okay. I will throw out, I saw Spy.
No, dang it. That's a good one.
I really enjoyed that. I don't like watching previews, and I hadn't seen any previews for this. But just looking at the posters, I thought it was an ensemble movie. I didn't realize it was Melissa McCarthy's vehicle. And she's awesome.
She's great. It's a perfect role for her.
It's pretty amazing.
Jason Statham's great in it. Rose Byrne is surprisingly funny.
She's really funny. She took what was just the femme fatale part and made it hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, can I do a new promotion?
Okay.
So one of the supporting characters in Spy is Miranda Hart, a British actress who plays her, friend at the CIA, and she is an amazing comedic British actress. Her show Miranda is on Hulu, and she's just hilarious and awesome. And I would encourage people to pursue her more because she's fantastic.
Cool. And I'm also going to throw out Terminator 2 is throw out the acting of Edward Furlong, and it's a nearly perfect movie.
That was pretty rough to watch. I don't remember him being so bad in my youth.
Yeah, but it's an awesome movie. And so watch those guys.
Thumbs up at the end as he's slipping into the tank of mold.
Oh dear. Poor Edward Furlong and his daddy issues. Cool. Do you guys have anything to plug?
No.
Do you want to mention our Twitter?
Oh yeah, follow us on Twitter at IDoBM Podcast.
Yeah, or Facebook, in defense of bad movies.
Please follow us on Twitter, by the way. Please.
Yeah.
Even if you're thinking about it, just go ahead, pull up your phone right now, and go to IDoBM Podcast.
Like, you don't even check your Twitter. Come on.
Yeah.
At least just follow us.
Do us a solid. Come on.
And of course, our email, indefenseofbadmovies@gmail. Is it? Yeah, indefenseofbadmovies@gmail.com. And Lauren?
If you email us and are nice to us, we might let you come on as a guest defender.
That was only the one contest.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, we'll let you know when there are other contests.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to plug this July 28th. My improv group, the Upperclassmen, will be at Bricks in Long Beach, which is like a gastropub. It is
in Belmont Shore on 2nd Street.
Belmont Shore on 2nd Street. It shows at 8:20. It is free, so come and drink. You'll enjoy the show more. And then we've got also another show August 16th, which is not free, but we can get you cheap tickets.
And that one's practically free, isn't it?
Practically free if you get pre-sale tickets from me or any of the other members of the troupe.
Because all that matters to you
$5.
guys is giving the audience what they want.
Right,
That's all that's important to you.
And putting butts in seats.
That's it.
Yeah. So that is about it. Guys, agree to disagree?
Kind of the same principle of Magic Mike, I think.
That's why I said it. It was a callback.
I know.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. I'm just pointing
Except there
out
will be,
to our audience.
there will be men in the audience at the improv shows, which will be a nice change.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be less dollar bills flying. I'm sorry.
And we will not...
I get my face humped?
Will I get to see Matt Balmer in a thong?
Yes and no, and I'm not going to tell you. I did point to tell you which one was being answered, but listener, you're just going to have to go and figure out which one. Yeah. So, I think that should do it for this show. We did not agree on this movie.
Didn't we? Oh, I guess
Well,
we're
two of
right.
us did, and two of us did with each other. So, yeah, that about does it for this show. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Bye.
And take care.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
So let's use this point to talk about just general conversation as we're fading out into the theme song. It's been off of the office.
Yeah.
It's something important.